Hello wonderful people, it's Dev once again, and we are here. I'm here with another tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to build a Spotify clone. So if you don't know what Spotify is, this is Spotify. So Spotify is a website that allows you to listen to, as it can say here, it says here, millions of songs and podcasts, no credit card needed. Okay, so this is what we are going to build. This is our version of Spotify we are going to build. Okay, so this is it. You have the label or the album of the music you are playing, whether it's a single or the album will be displayed here, and you have the artist name here, and the album or the song's title will be here. You can play or pause with this button, go to the previous, or go to the next, or go to the previous, or you can play a song from the playlist over here, and you also have the access to download the music from here, and you can add a new song by clicking here. It will send you to a new page where you will add the song and its title. Okay, so let's demo the playing of the song. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so you can see the song is playing now. Okay, so I can forward the timeline. Of the song. Okay, pause it. Go to the next one. Go to the previous one. Play a song from the playlist. Let's choose anyone. Let's choose new guy. Okay, so you can see the name changes when a new song is chosen. So watch the name. It says change to Joker again. Alright, let's play the Fireboy. You can see the name has changed, and the title also has changed. Okay, so this is what you are going to do. Let me preview the adding of the song. So you click here. Okay, so it brings you to this page where you can add a song of your choice. So let's add a song. Let's call it Django. What's the name? Let's give it Happy YouTuber. Okay, what's your dev? The artist is going to be Ultra Dev, as you know, as usual. Let's choose a song. So you choose a song. Let's choose this one here, and let's choose a cover image for it. Let's just choose one of this one, then let's submit. Okay, so our form has been submitted, and the music will be added to the list. So you can see the artist name is Ultra Dev and Happy YouTuber Ultra Dev. So this is what you are going to basically build. So guys, let me give you some gist before we jump into the code and start building our project. So as usual, I've gone ahead of myself and I've built I've prepared the starter files for this project. So you can find it at this repository, this URL here. I'm going to leave the link to the repo inside the description, so you can check it out. You come here, you just copy or download the zip, or you clone the repo. All right, so you'll notice that it has two branches, one for the main and one for the starter. So the starter is just for the starter files for the project, and the main contains the completed project. So take notes. All right, so guys, let's jump into so before we jump into the code, I want to thank all my subscribers for subscribing to the channel and giving me a motivation to always bring out a new project each week. So please, I'm very grateful for your subscriptions. Please, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please kindly consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, comment below. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. I really cherish your subscriptions. Thank you. So let's jump into the code. Okay. All right, guys. So okay, guys. So if you clone or you download the starter files, these are the folder or the content that is going to be inside it. So I'm going to take some few minutes and walk you through what is found or what I prepared inside the starter files. Okay, so I generated a project with Django-admin start project, and I called it Spotify clone, and I added the template directory over here. You can see. Then I also made some configuration for the static roots and the media roots and the media static files there. So you can see here that Tailwind is listed here. So in this project, we are going to use Tailwind for the styling. So I'm using Django Tailwind. Okay, it's a package. So if you don't know about it, please comment below. I'm going to describe, or if you comment about it, I can make a video of how to set it up and use it in a Django project. It's a very handy tool to have. And inside the template, you'll find two templates: add page and the home page. The home page is for sorry guys. The home page is where you play the songs, and the add page is where you add the pages. And you find this theme app also. This theme app is generated by Django Tailwind, the package that is used for the styling. Okay, so don't worry about it that much. I'll explain to you when you get to when to use it. Okay, and you also find this music app here. The music app is what is going to hold the logic for our music and the activity that is going to happen on our Spotify clone. Okay, so let's jump into let me show you the last changes I made. The last change I made was inside the urls.py file. I added the static so that you'll be able to view our static whilst you are in development. Okay, and added the urls.py file inside the music app. It has nothing in it. It should have nothing in it. Yes, just the basic stuff, just the app name and the URL patterns. Okay, all right. So guys, let's jump into our music app model and start building our Spotify clone. Okay, so inside our model, we are going to create a model for our music. So we're going to call the model music, just as the name. Okay, it's going to inherit from models.model. all right, sorry, it's going to have a title that is going to be a models.char field that will have a max length of 500. Some songs can have really long titles. Okay, and we are going to have an artist. There can't be an artist without a song. I don't know about any of such, so if you know about such, comments in the comments section below. Models, that one is going to be a models.char field. All right, it's also going to have a max length of 500, and it's going to have an album. Okay, no, album, let's spell album well, if I can spell. So it's going to be models. That one is going to be a models.foreign key. Models.foreign key. Okay. So it's going to be a foreign key to the album's model. Okay, so the album model has not yet been created. That's why it is in a string representation now. So we are going to create the album model below. Okay, so that's how you do it. The next thing is you want to make the album model, so it's not compulsory to have, for a song to have an album. Okay, and blank equals true. Okay, so the next thing you want to know about the song is the length also. So we are going to call that one the time length, or the duration of the music. So models dot decimal field. Okay, it's going to be a decimal field. Okay, it's going to be a now blank equals true. Blank equals true because the person providing the song wouldn't set, sorry about that, wouldn't set what the length of the time. We would determine it ourselves. Okay, so it's going to be blank equals true so that we can escape it when passing the music. The next thing is the audio file. So we need to have the file, the music itself. So that one is going to be a models.file field. Okay, and we want to upload to, okay, we want to upload to musics. Okay, the next thing is the cover image for the music. So models.image field. All right, and we want to upload that one to music image, music_image. Okay, just like this. All right, so we are done with our music model. Okay, but then last thing we want to do is we want to override the save method. Okay, so it's going to be take self, then take args and quarks. It takes args and quarks. Okay, then you are going to check whether if not self dot time length, then we are going to provide our logic for getting a music length here. Okay, so for now we are going to leave that one. So let's just give a pass and we return a supercore. Sorry, it's not supposed to be here. Outside the if, we're going to return a supercore of the save method. We are going to pass this args and quarks again. Okay, like this. Okay, so we are going to deal with this later, the logic for getting the music length. So let's tag along. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is create the album model. So class album. So it's going to inherit from models.model. Okay, just like so, and it's just going to have a name. All that the album need is a name, nothing special. So it's going to be a models.child field. Okay, like so. It's going to have a max length of 500, the same. Okay, so guys, you are done with our model. We are done with the music model and the album model. All right, so let's jump into the view and let's create a basic view. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's jump into our view. Okay, so our view is currently empty. So you are going to create a view for the home page. So you're going to create dev.home, define home page. Okay, it's going to take request, then it's going to return a render that takes in the request argument, and going to render the page, this template here. You can see we have the home here, so that's what you are going to render for the home page view. So home.html. Okay, let's save it. Okay, so let's add this view that we have just created to our urls.py file. So let's go into urls.py. Okay, first you have to import the view. So from .views, import home page. All right, then we are going to use path. You are going to give it the root path. Okay, then you are going to use home page. Then you are going to give it a name of equal to home. All right. Okay, so guys, we are almost done with our first view. So when you look at the setting, let me just give you this alert first before you get an error when you start the app. So when you have a look at the settings key here, you can see I am referencing from the OS module to get the environment variable called Django secret key. So inside the root project of the root directory of your project, create a .env file, and inside it just specify these things. Export Django secret key equals to any string is okay. You can put yes or anything, or put dev there. It's going to work. All it needs that it has to be, it's supposed to have a value there, or else it won't work. All right, so let's start our server. Okay, so first I'm going to source in my .env file. If you are using, sorry about that, if you are using a Windows or any machine, it might work. I have a problem with my computer. I have to source in my environment variable first before it will work. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is Python manage.py run server. Okay, so you see we are having an error inside our module. We forgot to set the onDelete variable, so we are getting an error. So let's jump into the model. Okay, so for the foreign key, you always need to set an onDelete so that Django will be able to know what to do if the album that was specified for the music is deleted. So onDelete, you're going to set it to models.set now. Okay, so it means that if the model that is related to this music is deleted, what should Django do? And we have specified over here that Django should set the value for the module to now. It can be set cascade, which means that immediately the album is deleted, the song has to be deleted, which is not something that is needed in our case. All right, so let's jump back. So this, let's save it first. Sorry, we didn't save it. All right, so let's see whether our server is working. Okay, so the decimal, okay, last error. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So the decimal, for this decimal here to work, it needs to have the max length and the decimal number. Okay, so the max length, the max digit, max digit instead. So max digit, let's set it to 20, so that's the maximum number of digits it should have, and the decimal, place, let's set it to 2, so we want 2 decimal place. Okay, this time around we should not have any errors. Okay, so our server is now working correctly. Just have some migrations, we'll do that later. So let's jump into the browser and see what we have. So localhost 48,000. Okay, so you have an error. It said music tag is not registered. Sorry guys, just jump into this home page here. I'm really sorry about that. Just get out this guy. We are going to implement it later. Okay, just get it out, and I think we are good to go now. Fingers crossed, no errors again. Oh, another error. It says to home page. Where can this error be coming from? So the navbar that is used in the template is referencing a page called home page, or a link that is called home page. So let's go back into our urls.py file here, just here, and let's change, sorry, not this one, the urls.py file inside the music app. Let's change this thing here to underscore page, home underscore page. Okay, finally this time around it's going to work. Last time I said that and you had an error. Okay, this time around we are not getting any error. Okay, so you can see you have this beautiful UI here. Okay, so guys, this is the UI that was provided inside the starter file. Just this simple thing, not functional yet. Okay, but I'm going to make it work. Okay, so let's go back again. Let's go back into our view. So the first thing you're going to do here, we are going to make migrations. So let's stop our server. And run python manage.py make migrations. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to migrate. Python manage.py migrate. Okay, so you can see the migrations are a couple, there are a lot. Okay, then let's run our server once again. Python manage.py run server. Okay, so we have no migrations yet. Let's close down some files. Let's close down this one. Let's close this one too. Let's close the settings too. Let's jump into the views. All right, so inside the view, inside the home page, you want to return all the music inside the database. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable called music. We are going to call music dot object dot all. Okay, so we have to import music. So from dot models import music. Oh, okay, so I see where the errors come. So we made an error with the spelling of music. Wow, I'm really bad at spelling. Let's make this change. Oh, sorry. Is this how you spell music? Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so let's remigrate again. Sorry about that. Python manage.py make migrations. Let's say yes. So Python manage.py migrate. Okay, done. Python manage.py run server. Alright, so you are now good to go now. Okay. Okay, so we have music imported from .model import music. Okay, so now you have music here stored inside this variable. What's this guy doing here? Okay, so we want to pass this music to the front end so that it will be rendered. Okay, so let's create a contents dictionary here. I'm going to give it a name of music. Why am I spelling music wrong today? Okay, so music. Alright, so this is it. Now you are passing the music to the front end. So we want to render the music inside the music list. This place. You want to render all the music inside the database here. Alright, so let's go back. Alright, let's inside there. Okay, so you can see this UL here. This is what is responsible for the music list. Okay, so we are going to run a for loop for music or music. Let's keep it this way for the meantime, because we called it music. Sorry guys. Oh, okay, so let's move this up. All right, so inside for each music it has an artist name or an artist, so we're going to call it music.artist. Okay, we're going to render the title here, music.title. and music dot time length. Okay, so when you go to the website and refresh, you'll see the li will automatically disappear because you have no music inside our database currently. Let's preview that. Okay, so you can see the li has disappeared and there's no music there. Okay, so let's add a music. First, let's create a super user. Okay, Python manager.py create super user. I'm going to call it admin. Leave the password. Let's use a super strong password. Test the 1 2 3. Test the 1 2 3. Oh, sorry. Test dot 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 1 2 3. Yes. And you are created. Let's run the server once again. Alright, so let's go to our admin page. Let's log in. Our username is admin and the password is test 1 2 3. Okay, so our models are not displaying here because we haven't added it. So let's go back. Let's jump into the admin.py file here inside the music app, the admin.py file, and let's register our models. Okay, so admin.site.register. The model's name is going to be music. Okay, so let's import music from .models. Import music. And let's import album to album. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is admin.site register album. Alright. Okay, so now we have registered them. So let's go back to our model and refresh. And let's go back to our database, our admin, and refresh. So you can see we have it here, musics and albums. Okay, let's go add a music. Alright, so let's call it new track. The artist is Ultra Dev. We're going to leave the album blank. Let's call it 20.20. Let's choose an audio file. Okay, let's use this one. Let's give it a cover image. Let's use any one of this. Let's save. Whilst it's saving, let's go back to our local host. Let's go to the home page again. Let's load. Okay, so you can see the music is appearing here. Okay, so now we are rendering our music. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is to get the length of the music, right? The length of the music. So I'll be able to add it. We added it, but I don't know why it's not showing. Music dot time. What did you call it here? Call it time length. Okay, so it's not music. Let's refresh it for the last time. Okay, so you can see the time tool is appearing over here. All right, so we want to get the time from using our own logic instead of allowing the user or the person to enter the length of the music. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a helpers.py file inside the music app. Okay, so inside it, let's create a new file. Let's call it helpers.py. Okay, so we are going to use a package or a Python package called mutagen. Okay, so let me show you what mutagen is about. Okay, so this is mutagen. This is it. So you can see mutagen is a Python module that handles audio metadata and stuff. I'll leave the URL inside the description so you can read more about it. So to install mutagen, you're supposed to do Python pip install mutagen. Sorry, pip install mutagen. Okay, I've already done that, so I can use the package. So from mutagen, you are going to import the mp3 package. Then inside it, you put to the mp3 class. All right. Okay, so the next thing you are going to create is a function def get audio length. It's going to take the audio file. Okay, so to get the audio length, first you are going to create a variable called audio, and you are going to pass mp3, the class that we just imported from mutagen, mp3, the file from our database, right, like so. Then the next thing you are going to do is you are going to return the audio.info. So this audio.info is a dictionary that contains some information about the audio file that we just provided to the mutagen class. Okay, so we want one thing specifically, the length. The length is going to give us the time, okay, or how long the music is. Okay, so let's save it and let's jump back into our model. Okay, so here, instead of being pass, let's take out this pass from there, and we are going to get the audio length. So we're going to get audio length. Audio length is going to be get audio length, the function that we just created. Okay, so you can see it has been imported for me. Thank you, VS Code. Okay, so now we have the audio length. So we want to set the self.time length. equals to audio length like so. Oh no, sorry guys, it's audio length, not get audio length. Yes, this way. All right, so when you're done, it calls the save method automatically. All right, let's save it and let's go try it out. Okay, so let's go to our admin over here. Let's add a new song. So this one is new track 2. That is storage dev. We are going to leave this one blank. Let's go get the track. Okay, let's grab the cover image. And now let's save. Okay, so you are getting an error. Oh guys, what am I doing? So you're supposed to pass the file to this guy or to this function over here, and we didn't pass it. Okay, so it's going to be solve.audio file like so. All right, okay, like this, and let's go back and try it again. Let's go continue. Okay, so you can see it worked. Okay, so let's click on this, what we just created. Let's click on it. Okay, so you can see the time of the the time length of the music has been added to it automatically by our logic. Okay, so let's go on. We are making progress. Okay, let's jump back to Visual Studio Code. All right. So the next thing that I want us to do is we want to verify whether the music file that is being sent in by the user is an audio file before saving it into our database to prevent any errors when we are in production. Okay, so here, so we are going to create some validators for this audio file field here. So inside the music app, create a new file called validators. Validators.py. Okay. Okay, so inside it you are going to first import OS first. The next thing you are going to do is from Django dot core dot exceptions import validation error. Okay, like so. And the last thing I want to do is you want to import the mutagen class, the mp3 class from mutagen again. So from mutagen.mp3 import mp3. Okay, so in our app, we are just going to work with mp3 files, nothing else again, no different audio files. So we are going to call our function def validate is audio. All right, first it's going to take the file Okay, so it's going to try. No, it's going to try. It's going to try the audio. Oh, sorry guys. I'm going to pass. Let's create a variable called audio, and we're going to pass the MP3, the file that we have, and we're going to check if we have an audio. So if the file that is passed to this MP3 class is an image or is a video, it is going to be none, and none is falsy. Okay, so we are going to check if not audio, then you are going to raise. Oh, what's going on today? If not audio, you are going to raise a validation error. So you are going to raise an error. So I'm just going to try a type error like so. Let's raise a type error here. Then you are going to catch it with this, our exception. Okay, so exception as error, as E. Okay, then when we catch the so when we raise the error here, we want to set a variable called first. So we are going to do a first check, a first file check, So if it is able to pass it and it has an audio, then you are going to set that variable to true. Okay, but when it is not able to pass, we are going to set that variable to false. So first file check equals to false. Okay, then when we get out of the try statement, you are going to check if the first file was passed, the first file check was passed. Okay, so we want to negate it. So if not first file check, then it's going to be raise. This way we are going to raise the validation error that we imported in from Django. To raise validation error unsupported type, unsupported audio type. Let's make it more clear. All right, the next file check we are going to do is we are going to use the extension to check. So we're going to set a list here that hold the extensions of the file that we are expecting. Valid file extension is going to be equals to a list that has .mp3. all right, okay, so we are going to get the extension of the file. We are going to set it equals to an os.path.split test. Okay, so split test is going to split given the name of or the path for a particular file. It's going to split between the root name and the extension of the file. Okay, so we want the extension part. So let's pass in the file name, file.name. Oh, okay, file.name like so. Then you want the extension, so it's going to be the root and the extension. So the extension is the second value. So get to the second value or index the second value, and we are going to check if the extension, let's lower it, try to make it standard. If the extension that's lowered is not in the valid file extension, then raise another error again. So you are raising two errors. So if it is able to pass both, then it's safe. You can go ahead. Okay, so unsupported, just like this one. Let's copy this one down here. Okay, like this. So let's go and add the validation into our file field. So we have just created the validation. Okay, so inside the file field, add another argument, validators. Okay, so it's supposed to be a list, and it's going to be validate this audio. Okay, so validate this audio has been imported for me. Okay, it's here. So let's save it. Let's see whether our guy is working. Okay, our server is working. Okay, so let's go back. Let's add a new song. So we're gonna add a new song. Okay, so let's call this one Joker or dev. Let's leave that part blank, and we are going to mistakenly choose an image file for the music file or for the audio file, and also choose the cover image. Then let's save. Okay, so you can see we are getting unsupported audio file. Okay. Okay guys, so you can see our validation is working perfectly. Okay, so since you are done with the validation, there's one thing I want us to correct quickly. You can see we are rendering the time here, but we are rendering it in decimal. We want to render it as time, so that the user, it is going to really help with the user experience, like seconds and the minutes. Okay, so let's work on that. So we are going to use template tags for that. Template tags. Okay, so inside the music app, we are going to create a new folder called template tags. Okay, like so. Inside it you are going to create a file called init, or no, underscore init underscore py. That's going to make it a module. Okay, then you are going to create the template file itself, or the tag itself. Okay, I'm going to call it music tags.py. Okay, so inside the init underscore.py, nothing is going to be in it, so you can just close it out. Okay, so inside this music underscore tags.py, first thing we are going to do is from Django import template. The next thing I'm going to do is from you are going to import math. Sorry, import math, the math module. Okay, and you are going to create a library or a template library here. So template dot library. Okay, let's initialize it. Right. Okay, so we are going to use that as a decorator. Use the register as a decorator. Register. Okay, so register dot filter. So the time we are going to call the template time formatter. Okay, it's going to take in the time, and the first thing it's going to do is convert it into an int. Okay, then you are going to get the minute out of it. So min is equal to the math module, and you are going to use the floor, and you're going to get the time, and you get the modulo of 3600. Okay, and we divide it by 60. Okay, so yeah, using the finding a modulo of or the mode of 3600, because if the music has hours, this guy or this value will be able to work. If we get a value that is less than 3600, then the time still, or the mod that is returned is the time here. Okay, and we divide it by 60 to get the minutes. Okay, the next thing we want to do is get the second. Okay, store it inside sec. So math.floor, and that one is going to be time, and we find the mod of 60. All right, like so. And when you are done, we want to check if what's this? If the second is less than 10, then we want to format it properly so that it has 0 second, 0. If it is like 1, it will be 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, not just 0, 1 or 2. Okay, so we are going to format it, and you are using the f string. You are going to pass in the sec here, like so. All right, when you are done, you want to return an f string also here. It's going to be the minute and the second. All right, so this is our template tag for formatting the time correctly inside our template. Okay, so let's jump into our home page and use our newly created template tag. So at the top here, you are going to import, or you are going to load it. So load, you are going to load, oh no, let's clear out the static. So we called it music underscore tags. Okay, so now you have loaded it in. The next thing is we want to use it. So we want to use it at this place where music tags or music length is. So we are going to use the pipe and use time formatter, time underscore formatter, like so. Okay, I hope we get no errors. So let's go back and refresh. So you can see now it is 120.20. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, there we go. We have an error, and I know where the error is coming from. So we just added the new template tag, so we need to restart our server so that we can get those changes. Let's stop it. So run the server again. Okay, so let's go back and refresh. Okay, this time around it is working. Okay, a minute, and you can see we have our time neatly formatted, and this thing is more understandable to the user than it was previously. Okay, all right, so now you have our templates, or our template looking a bit nicer. So now we want to work on the functionalities, on playing it and pausing and all the other stuff. So that one we are going to use JavaScript to handle those stuff. Okay, so let's go back into our text editor or code editor. All right, so at the bottom here, outside here, so we want to find a way of sending the music, the music inside the music database to the JavaScript, so that it will be able to have access to it. Okay, so we cannot give it to it automatically, because this is not an API where the JavaScript will be able to make a call to that endpoint and get all the song. But you have to find a way of packaging the music or the content inside the music database to the JavaScript, so that we'll be able to use it. Okay, so let's go back into our view shortly. Let's close this one out. We are done with it. Our view, and we are going to pass a new context out. We are going to call it music list. Okay, that one is going to be a list. We are going to create a list here. A list here is going to be music dot object objects dot or. We are going to get the values, so dot values like so. Okay, like so. Okay, so we can't use this one because we are going to serialize it. That's why we are not using the object music.object.or. We want the values inside it. That's why we are using the dot values on it, the dot value method. Okay, so this is how we are going to send it to the backend. We are going to create, or we are going to render it with the template tag from Django, that is the JSON script. So we are going to add this like this. So music list, what's happening? Sorry guys, this is weird. Okay, so music list, then you pipe it, then give it JSON underscore script equals to not equals to, sorry, like so, and you give it a variable name, so music or musics. Okay, let's save it and let's go back into our browser, refresh. Okay, so I'm going to open the inspector. minutes. Okay, so you can see we have, you're supposed to, you see, we have a script file over here, and at the moment it's empty. Okay, so why is it empty? It has the music. Okay, maybe you make the mistake here. Okay, and the error is that we are not passing the list that we created inside the context dictionary. So let's add it to the context dictionary. So let's call it music underscore list. That is referencing music list, like so. Let's go back, let's refresh it for the last time. Okay, so let's check here. Okay, so you can see we have this thing over here and it is filled. You can see we have some JSON data over here. Okay, so now our JavaScript can query this ID here and get the content inside it and pass it as JSON. Okay, so let's jump into the JavaScript functionality. Okay, so let's go here to the home page, and underneath it you're going to write the JavaScript inside the HTML file. Let me change this thing to HTML. It helps. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do, we are going to get a hold of some variables from our UI. So the first thing we are going to get hold of is our player, or the audio player, or the audio element, sorry, which is going to be document dot query selector. Okay, and you can see our audio element right beneath here. Where is it? Okay, you can see it. Oh, where is? You can see it as a class of audio player. So let's hold on to it. Audio dash player, like so. The next thing I want to hold onto is the play button. Play is equal to document dot query selector. It is called playing. It has a class called playing. Can verify. So you are going to copy this thing down 1, 2, 3, so that it speed up some things. Okay, so the next thing you are going to change is this guy here, prev. You are going to change it to prev, and it has a class called prev. All right, the next one is next. It also has a class called next. The next one is the duration. this guy, going to call duration, as a class of duration. Okay, and this one is going to be the current time. Okay, so this one is going to be the current time. Current time, like so. Here it has a class of current duration. Okay, the next thing is the song title. All this class list has been listed in the template that was provided up inside the starter file. Okay, so song title, no, song underscore title. There is going to be song dash title. Okay, here is going to be album. Okay guys, so to speed up things, I'm going to just copy and paste the rest from my repo so that we can speed up stuff. Okay, so these are the things that we are getting from the front end, or you are getting hold from the front end inside the JavaScript. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to initialize music indexing. Okay, so the music indexing is what is going to determine which particular song that has been received from the backend should be played. Okay, so if you don't understand, let's keep on. Everything will be clear very soon. So let's give it some initialize. How do you even spell initialize? Let me call it init music indexing. Okay, let music index equals to 0. Okay, so guys, you see we sent in the music from the back end to the front end, so you have to use JavaScript to now get hold of those music now. Okay, so let's give it a comment, get music from DOM. All right, that's going to be inside a cons called musics. Going to be equal to JSON JSON.parse document dot get element get element by ID. The ID is going to be music. The ID is music because it has been set here as music. Okay, so it's supposed to be music instead. All right, then you're going to get the text content inside it. So dot text content. All right, so we get to the text content, then it is going to pass it over here. All right, so let's continue. So now we have the music over here. So we want to load the music data into the UI when the browser loads automatically. So we are going to create a function that is going to do that. Okay, so First, we are going to create our functions below, like so. Okay guys, so we are going to create all the functions that are going to be used for this project. Then from there we are going to create the event listeners as well. Okay, so this function is the first function you are going to create is the function that is responsible for loading the details into the UI. Okay, so let's call it set src. src is, we are going to create an arrow function for that. Okay, then the first thing it's going to do is going to set the player src. The player is the audio player. Okay, then we are going to use the template string. It's going to be /media we are going to $, what's happening, like so. Then you are going to get the music from the musics, this music array here. You are going to get the current song that has been set by the music index. So that's what the music index is being used for, the music index. Okay, then you are going to get the songs audio file, audio_file, like so. Right, the next thing we are going to do is set the song's title. Okay, song title dot text content. Okay, we are going to set the text content equals to the music title that is being returned from our database. So music index dot title. Okay, just title. The next thing that we want to do is set the artist, that is for the song. Set down to the text content equals to music dot. So here is supposed to be musics. Okay, dot artist. Okay, the last but not the final thing is set the cover image. So music _image dot set src, set attribute, and the attribute that you are setting is the src. And that one is also going to be something similar to this. So let's copy it. Let's copy it here. But here is going to be cover image. Like so. Alright. The final thing we want to do is check whether the song has an album. So we check if the music or music dot music index dot album is equal to now. You want to check whether it is not equal to now instead. So we check whether it's not equal to now, then sorry for the ligatures not equal to now. Okay, so that's it. If it's not equal to now, then we want to set the album dot text content to equal to what was provided by the database, else if it has no album, then it means the song is a single. So album dot text content, we set it equal to single. Okay, like so. So this small function here is what is responsible for loading the details of the music and setting the SRC for the audio player respectively. Okay, I don't even know I added respectively, but that's responsible for loading the details into the UI. Okay, so let's create our next function. That one is also going to be an arrow function. So const, I'm going to call that one play or pause. So this function is going to determine whether the player should play or not. Okay, so we are going to check if player dot, and the audio player has an attribute that is called paused dot paused. If it is paused, then we want to do what we want to play the player. So player dot play dot play. Okay, so that it basically does what its name says. It's going to play the player, or else you want to do player dot pause. Okay, so take note, the paused and the pause is different. The paused check whether it is paused, and the player the pause pauses it. Okay, so this is what is going to determine whether the player should play or not. Okay, the next function we are going to create is a function that is going to format the time for this time. Let me show you from the UI. This time, when the audio is playing, it has to be formatted in a way that is more user friendly. Okay, so that is going to be responsible for that. So we're going to call it const. That one's also going to be an arrow function. Format time okay, so format time is going to take in seconds, the seconds. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to get to the minute. So just as we did for the template tag, we are going to use the same logic for this one too. So we are going to use math.floor. They are going to get the seconds. Inside it, you are going to get seconds divided by, modulo 3600 divided by 60. Okay, then the next thing we want is the second. So let sec equals to math.floor going to be equals to the seconds, not sex, the seconds divided by 60. Oh no, modulo 60 instead, sorry. Modulo 60. Alright. and we want to check if the second that was gotten is not less than 10. So if it is less than 10, we want to format it a little bit nicer. So we are going to use the template string here again, like so. I'm going to give it 0, the $sign, and pass in our second here. All right. So then we are done. We return the template string once again. Here is going to be the minute, just like we did for the template tag in Python, but this time we are repeating the same thing with JavaScript. Here is going to be sec. Okay, so here's the second. So this is what is responsible for formatting the time for the JavaScript side. Okay, so now that we have our functions ready, we are going to jump into our event listeners very soon. So the first thing, when the page loads up, we want to set the SRC for the first time. So we are going to call or initialize load the first music. So let's leave a comment here, load first music, or load music on refresh, or on start. It can be whatever you want. So we are going to call set SRC like so. Okay, and we are going to call player.pause. For some weird reasons, the audio player plays automatically when its SRC is set, okay, or it changes. So we are going to call the pause on it so that it doesn't play automatically, like so. Okay, so now that we have this thing working, now let's work on the play button. Okay, so let's leave a comment when the play button is clicked. Okay, what do we want to do? So we have hold of the play button with this variable here. So play.add event listener, and we are listening for the click event, and we want to use this arrow function to handle it. So when the user clicks on this play button, it should use the play or pause function that was created up there. Hope you get it. This is the play or pause. This is it. Okay, this is it. All right, so let's save it and let's go give it a try. Okay, all right, so let's try it out. Okay, so you can see it's not playing. Let's open the developer console and see what's going wrong. Okay, so we have an undefined title. Okay, so let's fix that quickly. Saying undefined title is song title not defined. I think just choose something here. Song title is defined. I don't know why. Okay, so song title, not song tile. Sorry guys. Okay, so let's Let's refresh again. Okay, some few minutes. Okay, so let's give it a try and see whether it's going to work. Bring out my audio. Okay, so you can see the audio is playing. Let me click on it again and see whether it's going to pause. Okay, so you can see the play and pause is working. Alright, so let's continue. Alright, let's jump into the what should even work on the next event listener. Okay, so we are going to work on the duration. So okay, so when the page loads up on the first load, here is still 00, but we don't want it to be this way. We want the, as soon as the page loads up, we want to set this to the duration of the music, the current music that is being held by the audio element. Okay, so let's fix that one quickly. So load, let's give it a comment, load duration of music for UI. Okay, so on the player, let's add an event listener, and the player has an event called loaded metadata. Okay, so we can use that one to listen whether the metadata of the music that is being held has been loaded before we fill it into the UI. Okay, so or else you are going to get undefined. Okay, so metadata, then we are going to use this arrow function to handle it. Alright, so when the metadata has been loaded, we want to set the current time or the duration, the duration instead. The duration dot text content equals to the player. The player also has the duration property that tells how long the audio is. So let's save it. Okay, let's go back and let's have a look at it. Okay, so you can see we have the audio's length over here, that is this, but it's not user friendly, so we are going to use our format time function to format it for it to be user friendly. Okay, so let's cut this one out, and we are going to use format time like so. We are going to pass it the duration. Okay, let's go try it out again and see. Okay, so you can see now you have it over here. It's working very nicely over here. So you can see the song title is not coming, but the artist is showing up. Let's go check why it's not coming through. So inside the set SRC, we are getting the title. Oh, this thing, my bad. It's supposed to be title. I don't know what I spelled. Okay, like so. So we can go back and refresh and see whether it's going to work. Okay, so you can see the title is now coming up. All right, so let's go focus on some weightier matters. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is that you see when you play the audio is playing, but the timeline here or the progress bar here is not being updated. So let's go fix that one quickly. Let's pause it. Okay, okay guys, so we are going to build the event listener for updating the progress bar. Okay, so let's go down, updates. So I'm having a lot of typos. Updates progress bar. Okay, so the player also has an event listener or an event called the time update. So I'm going to use that for this function. So I'm going to listen on that event, time update, like so, and we are going to fire this arrow function. Okay, so we're going to get total. We are going to get first get the length, the seconds, a sec value that is going to be the current time of the audio that is being played. Okay, so it's going to be player dot current time. Okay, so the current time is an attribute of the audio. Okay, so then another variable called total, that's the total duration of the music. Okay, so it's going to be equal to player dot duration, like so. All right, the last thing we want to get is set the current time. The current time property or the current time element, we want to set the text content to be equal to format time. We're going to use our format time function. They are going to pass it the player dot current time. So the player dot current time is different from this current time. This one here is an element, and this one is an attribute from the player element. Okay, like so. The next thing that we want to do is let's get the progress bar's width or the progress bar container's width. Okay, so progress container width is going to be equal to the progress container dot offset width, like so. All right, the next thing that we want is the progress itself, or the progress itself, the width. So progress width is going to be equals to progress dot offset width like this. Then we want to get the audio that has been played. That is going to be equals to audio underscore played. It's going to be equals to the seconds, which is the current time, divided by the total times 100%. Okay, because you are finding the percentage, or the percentage that has been played. Then you find the new length of the progress bar. We are finding a new length or a new width for the progress bar. So the new width is going to be equals to the progress width container, progress container width times the audio played divided by 100. All right, like this. Then we set the progress width. So progress star dot width equals to the new width that has been created. So that one too has to be a template string. So it's going to be new width so it's going to be a px like this. All right, so let's go and give it a try and see whether it's going to work. Let's refresh. Okay, so let's play the okay, so you can see our time is being updated and the progress bar is also moving. Okay, all right guys, we are moving ahead. Okay guys, so now we can update the progress bar, and our time here too is being updated. Okay, so now let's work on the next and the previous button. Okay, so let's jump into it. So let's go down. Let's create a comment when prev btn is clicked. Okay, so we're going to hold on to the previous button. So the previous button has been stored into this variable here. So let's add an event listener. We are going to listen to the click event. We are going to fire this event, this arrow function when the click event happens. Okay, so we are going to take the music index. We are going to set it equals to the music index. Music index -1. Okay, but we want to check if the music index is not equal to 0. And check if the music index is not less than 0. Less than 0. So you can't have the music index to be -1. Okay, so if it is less than the music length is less than 0, then we are going to set music index into not music length, music index. Okay, we're going to set music index to be equals to the music array, its length -1. Okay, so the length is going to give us the total object inside the total number of objects inside the music array. but because you are indexing it, you have to subtract -1 from it so that we won't fall out of the bound of the array. Okay, so if it is not less than 0, then we call set src again. src like this. Then when we are done, we call play or pause. Play or pause like so. Okay, so this one is for the previous button. Okay, so you are going to copy this thing here. For the next button, it's going to be almost the same. Okay, so let's change this. Let's change this to next. Okay, and when the next button is clicked here, we want to add instead of subtract +1, and here we are going to check whether the index is greater than the music dot length -1. Okay, if it is greater than, this is going to tell us whether we are falling out of bound of the music array. So if you are falling out of bound of the music array, you are going to set this thing equals to 0, the music index back to 0. Okay, so let's save it and let's go and give it a try. All right, so let me bring my microphone out. Okay, let's play the next one. So keep your eyes over here, the title. Okay, so it's not giving us anything. Let's check our console. So we had an error, it said music. Okay, so let's fix that. Okay, it's supposed to be musics. Sorry. Okay, let's try it again. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, a few minutes, then let's give it a try again. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's play. So you can see the song has changed. Let's go back to the previous. Okay, so the previous is working. Okay, the next is also working, and this is also working. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is that when we click on the progress bar container, we want to update the time over here. Okay, so let's go and work on that. Okay, so we are going to put that one at the bottom here. So update progress bar on click. Okay, so you're going to take the progress bar container and you're going to add an event listener on it. It's also going to be a click event, and this one you're going to take the event. Okay, then going to be first you are going to look for the percentage of the width that the click happened at. Okay, so clicked percentage is going to be equal to the event dot offset x. Okay, then you are going to divide it with the weight of the progress container itself. So progress container dot offset width, like so. Then you multiply it by 100. All right, the next thing I want to do is now calculate the audio played with the click percentage. So the audio that has to be played according to the click percentage. Okay, I hope it's clear. Audio played like so, going to be equals to the click percentage divided by 100. Okay, let's put this into a bracket like so. Okay, then we multiply it by the player duration. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is we are going to initialize a variable called playing. It's going to determine whether the player was already playing before the click event happened or not. Okay, no playing. Then you are going to check if player dot post sorry guys, if player dot post. Okay, then you are going to set playing equals to false, else you're going to set playing equals to true. Okay, so now we want to update the player's current time now. So player.current time is going to be equal to the audio played that has been calculated here, the audio played that has been calculated. Then we want to check whether it was playing already. So if it was playing, then if the playing was false, then we pause the player from playing. If we change the current time or any event that changes the attributes of the player automatically plays. Okay, so we have to check and pause respectively. So playing is equal to, if it is equal to false, then we are going to call the pause on the player. So player.pause like this. Okay, so our function is done, but we have to make some few corrections before we'll be able to have this working correctly. So inside the HTML, you locate the class with the progress container. You are going to move it up a little So we are going to take this class from here and bring it to its parent div. So class goes to this, then you pass it here, right, like this. Okay, so we are set. Let's go and try it out. Okay, so let's click. Wow. Okay, so we are getting an error. It's not functioning as expected. Let's open the console and let me have a look there. Okay, so I spot some weird thing over here, placer or whatever it is. So let's go down and fix that quickly. Player dot pause. Okay, let's go and try it again. Okay, so let's try updating. Okay, so this weird event again. Okay guys, so whilst we were trying to update the song's current time, so we had a bug when we updated the time, it goes back and starts playing again. So let me show you the bug. Okay, let's play the song. So you can't hear it now because my microphone is plugged in. So keep your eyes on the current time here and let me try updating the time here. You see, for the first one, on the first load it works, but let's change the song to the next one. Okay, you have changed the song to a different song now. Let's try updating it again and see. You see, it goes back to 0. It goes back to 0. So this is a bug that has kept me researching on Stack Overflow for almost 2 days now. So what I found out to work was that because you are saving the audio file in development with the development server, that's what is going to happen. So the way around it is to use or to pass a request header inside a response header inside the response. So let me show you how you do it. First, you need an extension called mod headers. This extension. So you go to where you download the Chrome extension or your Mozilla extensions, then you get the extension called mod headers. So when you open mod headers, you add a response header called accept ranges. The accept ranges should be in bytes. Okay, so let me just check this thing out. Then let's go back, let's refresh again. Okay, a few minutes. Okay, let's try it out again. Okay, for the first track it works. Let me position here. It works. So let's play it. Then let's go to the next one. Keep your eyes on the current time here. Let me try forward, and you see now it's working. So because we are in development mode, that particular header that we just added is not being added to it, but when it is deployed to a hosting service like Heroku or AWS, those header will be added to it. So it's not an error in case you get such thing. Okay, So the next thing I want us to work on is this part. So I want if a user click the button here, it should automatically play the song here. So if this song is already playing and the person clicks here, it should pause it. And likewise for this one too. Okay, so let's work on that. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we are going to add it at the bottom. So we are going to get the audio tracks. So all the songs that are listed there are inside a URL or a URL element called that has a class called audio tracks. So we are going to add an event listener to it. We are not adding the event listener to the particular li or the list element because of we want to bubble up the events to their containing or their mother element. Okay, attaching the event listener to each and the individual li tags is going to be costly on the JavaScript side, and it's going to hurt our performance of the website. So we are adding the click event to it. So yeah, it's going to take in the event object. Okay, and I'm going to check if the event target dot node name is equal to a button. So this is how we check whether it was a button that was clicked, and the button also has a class called play single. Okay, so let me show you what the play single class is doing here. Okay, a minute. Okay, so you can see there is a button. Yeah, the button, this is the button, and it has a class called play single. Okay, so that's what you are checking on in the JavaScript. Okay, so we check whether the e.target, the event target dot class list dot contains the play single, play underscore single. Okay, and you also want to check, so there's a possibility that when the person is trying to click on the button, the person will click on the SVG that is embedded inside the button. So we are checking whether the event is coming from the button or from the SVG that is located inside the button. Any of that, we fire the event. Okay, so this is how you check for all. And let's go down. So or if e.target target dot node name equals to SVG. Okay, and the SVG also has a class of play SVG. Okay, just as we did for the button, so such has been done for the SVG too as well. Dot class list dot contains play underscore SVG. Alright, okay, so if we get the event from any of that, we want to fire this. We want to fire the logic that is going to play the song for that particular li that was clicked. First, what you want to do is you want to get the parent tag or the li which has that particular button or that particular SVG. Okay, so we are going to call that, place that parent inside the inside a variable called parent node, okay, or parent container, parent underscore cons. All right, so let's just initialize the variable, and we will check whether the e.target so e.target, oh, sorry about that, e.target is equals to, what you are checking first is the button, okay, so if it is a button, then the parent container, sorry about the typo, the parent container is going to be equal to the e.target dot parent node. Okay, so that is going to give us the node that, or the element that is containing the button. But if it is not a button, then there's no, then it's going to be the SVG. Okay, so since the SVG is nested inside the parent node, inside the btn, it is going to be e.target dot parent node. Okay, so let's underscore cons going to be equal to e.target dot parent node the parent node. Okay, like so. Okay, so now we have the particular li that was clicked. Okay, so inside that li we have access to the song that is supposed to be played or supposed to be paused by the user, or which the user wants to be paused or played. Okay, I think that is more clear. Okay, so we are going to get the index of the song or that particular li. So index is equal to array. First we are going to make an array dot from, and you are making the array from the audio tracks, and we want to get all, we want to carry all, carry selector or the LIs that are located inside it. Okay, so I told you previously that this one is a URL tag or a URL element. So we are querying all the LIs inside it, and so that we'll be able to get the particular index of the LI that was clicked, or that's the click event is originating from. So since you have the LIs located there, then we want to, so this is an array, so we can find the index of a particular element, which is the index of, and the elements which you are finding or we are searching for is this parent container here, parent cons. Alright, so now we have the new index, or let me say the new index of the song that is supposed to be played. Okay, so we want to make a small check to see if the new index is equal to the music index. If it is so, then we want to call play or pause. Okay, and previously I told you that play or pause determines whether the player should play or should play or should pause. That's what, just as the name says. Okay, So if it is already playing, it will pause it. If it is paused, it will play it. Okay, or else we want to. So if it is not equal to the music index, then we want to set the music index equal to the new index that we have gotten, new index, like so. Then we set the src. Okay, it's going to load in the data, and the last thing we do is call player.play. okay, so this is it. This is the code that is going to handle that. So let's save it and let's go give it a try. Right, okay, let's refresh the page. Couple of seconds. Okay, so I'm going to take my microphone again. Okay, so okay, so we are having some errors. Let me show the console so I will be able to debug it. I'm sure it's okay. It's an unexpected token. Alright. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, my bad. So all this should be wrapped inside some parentheses so that it's evaluated as 1. I thought it is Python. Okay, so let's go back and let's go and refresh it again. This time around it's going to work. Alright, so let's play it. Okay, so you can see new guy. Let me take off this console off. Okay, so keep your eyes here on the track, new track 1. It's new track, so I'm coming to play new track 2. Okay, so you can see it has changed to new track 2. Okay, so this part of the function is working, so you can click here to play the new track, click here to play the next one, and the buttons here are working. You can forward the song to. Okay, alright, so the next functionality that we want to work on is adding new songs to our database here. Okay, so that's what we are going to work on next. Okay, so for that one we are going to jump back to our music app here, and the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to use a form to take in the data, so, or the particular song that we want to upload to our Spotify clone. So we are going to create a forms.py file. So new file, I'm going to call it form.py. Okay, so first you are going to, from Django, import forms. Okay, then we want to import in our model, so from.models, import music. Alright, then the next thing that we want to do is create a class called add music form. Alright, then it's going to inherit from forms.model form, not models form, model form. Okay, so now what you want to do is first, let's have a look at our model first. Let me close down some of these files. Okay, so this is our model here. Okay, so the argument that we want to receive inside our form is there's the music title, the music artist, the album, and the audio file, and the cover image. The song time length, we have our function here that is determining the length and setting it when the save method is called. Okay, so let's go back to our form, and the first thing that we are going to do is call class with a class method. Then the model that we are going to use is the music model. Okay, then the next thing that we need to set is the fields. Okay, fields, what am I spelling? Fields, like so. And the field is supposed to be a list or a tuple. Okay, so we are using a list here, and we are taking in the title. The next thing that we are taking in is the artist, like this. The next thing you are taking in is also the audio file, audio _file. So the name is the same as what was used for the database fields or inside the model. Okay, so keep note of that. And the next thing that we want is the cover image, like this. Okay, so 1 2 3 4. So we want to add the album title, which is going to be optional. So if the album, the music have an album, then you add the album. If it doesn't have, then you can pass it. But here it's a foreign field, and foreign fields are not rendered in form, or it has to be exist so that the person selects it. But we want to make it flexible so that when the person or the user adds an album, we will check whether the album exists already. If it does not exist, we create it. If it exists, we pick that album and we add it to the music. Okay, so we are going to use a char field or a character field to accept the field inside our model. Okay, so we are going to create our own field here called album, and it is going to be forms dot char field, and it's going to have a max length of 500. And since you want to make it optional, let's set the required argument to false. Okay, if you don't do this, it is going to make it required by default. Okay, so let's save it. Let's jump back into our views. Okay, so we are going to add a new view that is going to handle the taking in of the music or uploading of the music. Okay, so let's call the function add music, just like what it's going to be used for, and it's going to take in the request. And first it's going to initiate the form here, so add form, add music form. Okay, I hit a tab, it will be imported for me, so make sure you import it. Okay, add form. Then the next thing we are going to do is return a render with request, sorry, not requesting, request like this. Then the template that we are going to use is the add music .html. Okay, let me verify first. Okay, it's the add page, not add music. Add page. Alright, and we want to pass a context dictionary, so let's open up a dictionary here. We are going to call this form, just normal, and pass in the form variable or the form that was created. Let's save it. The next thing I want to do is you want to add it to our URLs. Okay, so inside the URLs located inside the music app, let's go grab this one here. Let's open it up. Okay, so beneath this one we are going to add another part. The part will go to add slash, and it is going to use the add music and the name, like so. Okay, add music, and the name is going to be add underscore music. Okay, so let's import it, add music. Okay, so we can save it. Okay, then let's go to our page and let's go to slash add, like this. Okay, so we have an error immediately. Okay, so it says model form has no model class specified. I think we did that, or didn't we? Okay, so instead of model we said models. It's model singular. Right, so let's go back and give it a view. Okay, so we have this beautiful UI for adding the music. So this has already been pre-styled with Tailwind. Okay, so you can add the music. So before we go ahead, I want to tell you why you are not rendering the form in a particular way or the Django way, but you are doing it with the HTML. So usually Django, it's either you use crispy form or you render the form this way, forms.asp. Okay, but we are using the normal HTML to do it. So you can see that you have an input field, you have different input fields inside the form. Okay, so the form starts from here, and there's one input field here. This is the album, and this is the title, the one taken in the title. This is the one taken in the artist. So just take off the E from there. Sorry about that. Okay, this is the one taken in the artist, and this is the one where is the one taken in the file field. Okay, this is the file field for the audio file, and the last one, this is the one taken in the image. Okay, and they are able to work because they have a name, the name that corresponds to the form field, and an ID, that is ID underscore the form field. If these two things are not there, it won't work. Okay, so take note of that. Okay, so let's jump into, now you can see our form is rendering, but if you post the form to our backend, currently the view is doing nothing with sorry about that, guys. The view is doing nothing with the form or what is posted to it. So first I'm going to check if the request is a post, capital, it's a post. First we are going to pass in the form details. So the add form again, add music form, add music form, And now we are going to pass in the request.post. Request.post. And we are going to pass in also request.files. Okay. So request.post is going to post in the text contents that was inside the form, and the request.files is going to post in the file contents like the images and the audio file. So if you omit any of them, the form won't be valid. Okay. Then the next thing we do is we check that if form.isValid, which is a method on the form class which can be called to check if the form is valid or not, just as the name says. So it is going to be true if it is valid, or false if it is invalid. So if it is true, we want to check this. This is what we want to do. First, we want to create an instance, or the model instance that we want to add to the database. Okay, so with form.save. Okay, so form.save in its actual sense is going to store the content of the form to the database. Because you are using a model form, it is going to store it to that particular model that was specified inside the class method. But since it doesn't have a, what's the name, the album, or it doesn't have the album specified, it might fail. Let me see whether it will fail or not. Okay, so it won't fail. It won't fail actually, but we want to check whether the form that was posted back to the back end has an album specified. If it has the album specified, then we want to add it. So first we will hot the saving to the database by passing in commit equals to false. Okay, so when we pass in the commit equals to false, by default it is safe, it is true. So immediately when the form.save is called, then it saves to the database. But if you pass in the commit equals to false, it will create the instance, but it won't save to the database. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do, that we have the instance here, the model instance here. So we're going to check or get the album field. Okay, so we want to get the value that was passed in the album field. Okay, so we get that one with form.cleanData dot, then we pass in get album. Okay, like this. Okay, so now we have the album here. So we want to check if it is not equal to none. So if the album and a value was passed for the album field, then we want to add it to our database. But it's supposed to be an album class or an album field before we'll be able to do that. So music album is equal to album so we have to import in the album model like so. So we are going to do album.object dot get or oh sorry, I'm spelling the album the wrong way. It's not album, I don't even know what I'm spelling. Album, okay, that objects or create. Okay, so this object.create objects.get or create is going to check whether the particular album instance exists already. If it doesn't exist, then it's going to create it. Okay, so here we pass in the album value that was provided inside the form. Okay, so now that we have a model instance of the album, then we want to add it to the instance album. Okay, it's going to be equal to music underscore album. Okay, so now the instance now has an album set to it. Then the final thing that we do is call instance dot save. All right, so this save is going to save it because the commit is going to be true, or else if there's no album instance on it, they want to call instance dot save and the final thing that we want to do is that when we are done, we want to redirect to the we want to redirect to the home page. Okay, redirect. So let's import redirect. So redirect has been imported from Django.shortcut. Okay, so we return a redirect. You don't just redirect, return a redirect, and inside the redirect you are supposed to pass where it's supposed to redirect to. So we are redirecting to music homepage. Let's go homepage. Okay, so this is the music space namespace, and this is the URL or the path name. Okay, let's save it. All right, then let's go give it a try. First, let's refresh this. Let's check whether our server is still running. Okay, our server is fine. Okay, so let's call this, let's give it an album of Django, and let's call this test 1, and the artist is still dev. Let's select an album, an audio. Okay, open this. Let's get a cover image for it. Let's use this. Okay, so keep notice of the name, the title, which is test 1. Then let's submit. Let's see. Hope you don't get any errors. Okay, so I think you have an error. So it said dictionary updated element sequence. Okay, so you have an error from, I think it's from this part. It's from, okay. All right, I think we just passed in the album and it doesn't know where it's supposed to check, so it's supposed to be name equals to album. That's what it's going to use to get or create it. Okay, so get or create is going to return to us false, and it's going to return to us that particular model instance and whether it is created or it's already existed. So if it is newly created, it is going to be true, and if it was already existing, it's going to be false. So it is going to return to us a tuple. So we will just want the first element inside the tuple. So we are going to index the first one. Okay, so that's what is going to give us the album instance, which we are going to save onto our music instance. Okay, so let's go back, let's refresh this and try again. Same, test 1, what's your dev? Let me just choose a random song. Cover image. let's submit again. Okay, so you can see we have been redirected to our home page. All right, let's go down and check. So you can see our song has been added. At first we had just two songs, and now you have 3, or 3 dev and the test 1. Okay, so let's try playing it and see. Okay, so you can see it playing. You can pause it. Okay, so guys, this is it, your Spotify clone. Okay, so you can build upon this. You can add an authentication system. Let me pause it so you can talk. Let me pause this guy. So you can build upon this by adding some authentication system, creating personalized playlists for each individual user. You can make it more fancier than this. This is just a simple Spotify clone where you can play your song everywhere you are, and you can even download it. Okay, so let's add the downloading bit, okay, before we end it. So let's jump into the home.html. Move up to where we are rendering the LIs. Okay, little bit down. Okay, inside here we are going to render the music dot URL. Okay, so let's save it. Let's go give it a try. Okay, so now, okay, one weird stuff is trying to happen over here. Okay, so we just have, hey, what's happening? It's supposed to be audio. We want to get the URL for the audio file. Okay, so audio underscore file dot URL. Okay, what's happening to my brain? So let's refresh it again. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so now you can click on this button and you'll be able to download your song onto your mobile phone or onto wherever you want to get it. So let's click on it. Okay, so it brings up this thing here. Then you can go here and make the download safely, no problem. Okay, so guys, we are done. We are basically done with our project. Please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. There are a lot of projects that are going to be built, so just subscribe to the channel. Please like the video, comment in the comment section below. It's really going to help with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, so let's check it up. Okay, let's check up the subscription and the likes. Okay, I will cherish you, and I thank you for spending your time with me. Okay, bye.